In the quiet town of Millbrook, nestled deep within the shadowy embrace of the forest, there existed a tale whispered only in hushed tones by those brave enough to acknowledge its existence. It was a story passed down through generations, a story of terror that lurked within the darkness, waiting patiently for unsuspecting souls to wander too close. The night hung heavy over Millbrook, the moon veiled behind a shroud of thick clouds, casting an eerie glow upon the sleeping town. In the heart of the forest, where the trees stood sentinel in the silence, there resided an old, dilapidated cabin, its walls weathered by time and neglect. Legend had it that the cabin was cursed, haunted by the tormented souls of those who had perished within its walls. Whispers in the dark spoke of unspeakable horrors that unfolded within, of shadows that danced malevolently in the flickering candlelight. Enter Sarah, a curious young woman with an insatiable thirst for adventure. Ignoring the warnings of the townsfolk, she ventured into the forest, drawn by an inexplicable pull towards the mysterious cabin. With each step, the trees seemed to close in around her, their branches reaching out like gnarled fingers, warning her to turn back. But Sarah pressed on, fueled by a reckless determination to uncover the truth hidden within the shadows. As she approached the cabin, a chill wind swept through the forest, sending shivers down her spine. The door creaked open of its own accord, beckoning her inside with a whispered invitation. With a trembling hand, Sarah stepped over the threshold, the musty air heavy with the scent of decay. The interior of the cabin was cloaked in darkness, broken only by the feeble glow of a single candle. Shadows danced along the walls, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to leer at her with malicious intent. Suddenly, a voice echoed through the silence, cold and cruel like the whisper of the wind. "Welcome, Sarah," it murmured, sending a chill down her spine. Heart pounding, Sarah spun around, searching frantically for the source of the voice. But there was nothing, only the empty darkness staring back at her with unseeing eyes. The whispers grew louder, filling the cabin with their chilling refrain. Shadows writhed and twisted, coalescing into a sinister figure that loomed over her like a specter of death. Terror gripped Sarah's heart as she realized the truth. The cabin was alive with malevolence, a trap set by forces beyond her comprehension. With every passing moment, the darkness closed in around her, suffocating her with its suffocating embrace. Desperate to escape, Sarah stumbled towards the door, her breath coming in ragged gasps. But the whispers followed her, taunting her with promises of eternal torment. As she burst into the cool night air, Sarah collapsed to her knees, tears streaming down her face. She had escaped the clutches of the darkness, but its whispers would haunt her forever, a grim reminder of the horrors that lurked within the shadows. In the quiet town of Millbrook, the legend of the cabin lived on, a cautionary tale whispered in the dark. And though Sarah had survived the ordeal, she knew that some terrors were too powerful to ever truly escape.